Want a cookie? Oh, I know you just ate, so you're craving something a little sweet. Besides, one cookie isn't gonna kill you. How about half? Just a bite? Bite it. Bite it. Bite it.
Food noise isn't fair, but Mochi Health is. Your affordable GLP-1 source that puts you on a path to successful weight loss by quieting food noise.
Bite it!
Shh. Learn more at joinmochi.com. Mochi members have access to licensed physicians and nutritionists. Results may vary.
Hey listeners, this is Peter and welcome back to the History Shorts. Today's episode is brought to you by the Podcast Republic, your ultimate listening app. Discover and subscribe to thousands of podcasts from around the world. Download Podcast Republic today, available on Google Play and the Apple App Store. Today on History Shorts. In the early 1960s, the Central Intelligence Agency spent approximately $20 million on a surveillance program. The program's goal was to gather intelligence on Soviet operatives in Washington. The vehicle for that intelligence was a cat, a surgically modified cat to be precise, with a microphone implanted in her ear canal, a radio transmitter buried in the base of her skull, and a thin antenna wire woven through her fur from her tail to the top of her head. The program was called Project Acoustic Kitty. And it was real, I'm not making this up. It was funded by the United States government. And it failed in a manner so complete, so immediate, and so perfectly on brand for the entire endeavor that the story has never quite been able to escape the category of things that are simultaneously horrifying and extremely funny. Our history brief today covers a little known anecdote in American history. A quick word from our sponsors.
Tired of your car insurance rate going up, even with a clean driving record? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry compares rates side by side from over 50 top insurers and helps you switch with ease. Jerry even tracks market rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Switch with confidence. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/Libsyn today. That's jerry.ai/LIBSYN.
This day in history. On May 14, 1948, Israel declared independence, leading to immediate conflict with neighboring Arab states and reshaping the geopolitics of the Middle East. On May 14, 1804, the Lewis and Clark expedition officially departed from St. Louis, beginning a journey that would explore and map the vast western territories of the United States. Story of the day. The CIA in the 1960s was not an organization that lacked for imagination. It was an organization that lacked for restraint. The same decade that produced Acoustic Kitty also produced MK Ultra, the program that dosed unwitting American citizens with LSD to study mind control. It produced the Castro assassination plots, including the famous exploding cigar proposal. It produced a range of surveillance technologies and covert operation schemes that, when declassified decades later, caused even hardened intelligence historians to pause and reread the documents to make sure they were seeing them correctly. The animating logic behind all of this was the same. The Soviet Union was a closed society producing minimal human intelligence. The Americans, well, the Americans had money, technology, and an institutional culture that rewarded creative thinking, or what passed for creative thinking in the specific hothouse environment of Cold War Langley. Anyway, what they did not have in sufficient supply was the judgment to distinguish between a genuinely innovative idea and an extremely expensive one that a moment's reflection might have stopped cold. Enter Project Acoustic Kitty. Anyway, the program was run by CIA's Directorate of Science and Technology in the early 1960s. The concept was very straightforward, in the way that concepts dreamed up by people who have never owned a cat tend to be straightforward. Cats, the reasoning went, were ubiquitous. No one would look twice at a cat wandering near a park bench, or sitting outside a building, or ambling past a group of men having a conversation. A cat with a microphone could therefore go places a human operative just could not. It could collect radio intelligence in settings where a human presence would immediately raise suspicion. And technology, while challenging, was theoretically achievable. The CIA's technical division thus went to work. A veterinary surgeon was hired. A female cat was selected and subjected to an operation that took approximately 1 hour. A microphone was implanted in her ear canal. A small radio transmitter was implanted at the base of her skull. A thin wire antenna was then woven under the skin from the base of her tail to the top of her head. The surgery was, by all accounts, performed skillfully, and the cat survived. She appeared to behave normally. There was, however, one problem that the program had not fully anticipated. The cat was hungry. Whenever she was deployed near a target, she simply wandered away to find food. The solution the CIA applied to this problem was characteristically to conduct additional surgery, implanting a device designed to, this time, regulate her appetite. This was an actual thing that happened with American taxpayer money, by the way, in a government facility in the early 1960s. The first field test of Acoustic Kitty took place in a Washington park. The accounts differ on exactly which one. The target was a park bench near the Soviet embassy, where two Soviet intelligence officers were known to meet regularly. A CIA van parked nearby, and the cat was released. She crossed the street, and she was immediately hit by a taxi. She was killed on impact, and the mission was over. $20 million and 5 years of work had produced a surveillance asset that was neutralized in the first 30 seconds of its first deployment by an ordinary vehicle proceeding normally through Washington traffic. The CIA's internal assessment of the program, written after the cat's death and eventually declassified, is one of the more remarkable documents in the history of American intelligence. The report concluded with an admirable, if belated, clarity that the program was not practical. The specific language in the declassified memo, as reported by those who obtained it through the Freedom of Information Act, states that the program had produced a remarkable scientific achievement, but that the cats could not be relied upon to consistently perform their mission. This is a delicate way of saying that cats do not do what they are told. A fact that, it bears noting, was available to anyone who had ever owned a cat at any point in the history of human civilization. I know because I have two cats that are literally sitting right here as I'm recording this, refusing to let me do so in peace. Anyway, the program was terminated, and the files were classified. They were not declassified until 2001, when they were obtained by journalist Jeffrey Richelson and reported in the Los Angeles Times. The CIA, when asked about the program, confirmed its existence, without much elaboration. Project Acoustic Kitty is easy to laugh at. It is also, if you look at it directly, something more than just funny. The program cost approximately $20 million, and that's in 1960s dollars. I keep on harping on that, but that's like equivalent of over $100 million today. It consumed years of scientific and technical effort. It involved subjecting an animal to unnecessary surgical procedures in a pursuit of an operational concept that basic behavioral observation could have dismissed in literally an afternoon. And it was approved, funded, and executed by one of the most powerful intelligence organizations in the world. An organization with access to the best scientific minds, the most sophisticated technical capabilities, and virtually unlimited black budget funding. What Project Acoustic Kitty illustrates is not that the CIA was staffed by idiots. It is that institutions under pressure, operating in secrecy, accountable to almost no one, and flush with resources, and even driven by relentless imperative to do something, can convince themselves that almost any idea is worth pursuing. The History Brief. The following comes to us from Richard Shankman and Kurt Rieger's One Night Stands with American History. As the Napoleonic Wars in Europe escalated, British and French harassment of neutral American shipping greatly disturbed American leaders. Finally, after an English frigate fired on the U.S. Chesapeake in December of 1807, President Thomas Jefferson invoked the Embargo Act, which outlawed trade with warring countries. In Vermont, news of the embargo was received not so well. Since there were no ocean ports in the new state, the law hardly seemed worth getting upset about. But when the Green Mountain State learned that their brisk trade with Canada was also forbidden by the embargo, well, they set about creating ways to overcome the unpopular law. Some smugglers built docks on Lake Champlain along the US-Canadian border. American ships would then dock and unload on the south side, while British vessels reloaded the cargo from the north side, just across the border and out of reach of US customs. Other smugglers were more brazen. In late June 1808, a group of them stole the U.S. revenue cutter that regularly patrolled the lake. A few Vermont citizens carried goods to buildings erected on hilltops directly across the Canadian border. After the house was loaded up, a specific stone or piece of wood was removed, and the building would accidentally slide down the hill into Canada. I'm not kidding. Anyway, extremely unpopular, the Embargo Act was repealed in 1809. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today and helping to make this little show such a mighty success. If you are enjoying this show and would like to help with its production, you can always donate a few dollars at buymeacoffee.com or become a Patreon member to enjoy these episodes ad-free. Both of those links can be found on our website at www.historyshortspodcast.com. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, where we have different series that are not part of this main feed. It is also a place you guys can watch the interviews instead of just listening to them every Friday. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you all again tomorrow.
Okay, so for the final trivia question, what is the largest mammal in the world? Reminder, no phones allowed. Sir in the orange, phone away, please.
My kid a smart smoke alarm sent an alert through the Ring app.
Okay, sure.
No, there's smoke in my house.
Yeah, right. A smoke alarm texting you. That's a new one.
See? The train monitoring agent is calling now. Hello?
The Kidda Smart Smoke Alarm sends real-time mobile alerts in the Ring app. And with a subscription, emergency help can be requested even when you're not home.
Well, okay. Back to trivia. Oh, seriously? You in the green? Why are you on your phone? Blender texting you about a smoothie recipe?
Visit Kidda at KIDDE.com to learn more. A compatible Ring subscription is required for 24/7 smoke and carbon monoxide monitoring, sold separately.